A very pleasant good afternoon as we get set for our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We are coming to you live as we are wont to do on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons from Quaker Steak and Lube. A great place to come on down and watch your favorite sports action. We'll talk about some of the action coming up here, but you can do so while enjoying some fantastic food. I just put my order in and we'll be enjoying between segments of the show this afternoon a very tasty selection of grub. And of course, they have fantastic beverages to wash the aforementioned grub down with. And I just ended the sentence with a preposition, which you're not supposed to do. I apologize to one and all for my transgression.
I had a little business meeting Tuesday after the show.
Yeah.
And I say it every week, every time I have a beer here. It is the coldest beer in town.
There you go.
And that's a pretty important thing to the Goon.
This is
very important
keep
thing.
the Goon happy.
Yep. Hot food, cold bear.
All right. So I will open up the show by admitting, and I'll be checking some information here as we get underway. I have not been able to keep up with the news here in the last 24 to 36 hours, but just a couple of things. The more I'm looking at the Steelers, I think that receiving core, you're pairing, I think it's going to work. I think Metcalf and Pickens together. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come in.
Bring it all together.
Listen, we can make it work with these two. I really think the Steelers are set up for wild
The holy
success.
triumphant, buddy.
We'll talk a little bit about that, how well I think ultimately Pickens and Metcalf are going to mesh here. I know it doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're so far away. I really think the Pirates are about to turn things around, and to such a degree that I think Derek Shelton is going to end up winning Manager of the Year. I'll get into my thoughts on that in just a little bit.
Your predictions are all true, buddy.
And pretty soon we should have the announcement of the new Pope. It's going to be the guy from South America. I'm absolutely convinced. One of these years, though, Goon, I think they should seriously consider an American. I know they're not considering it this time around, but do you know that we've never had an American Pope? It just so. Anyways, some random thoughts here to start the program. Let me just scroll through here and start getting caught up on.
It was an eventful ride over here for you, Jeffrey.
The last couple of days. Oh,
correct.
Oh,
correct.
Pickens has been traded. Oh, Derek Shelton's no longer manager. Oh, the Pope, it's an American. I'll be a son of a gun. So all kinds of news, sports and otherwise, breaking over the last couple of days. Also, we will let you know the Penn State men's volleyball team in NCAA quarterfinal action against Hawaii this afternoon. The Nittany Lions jumped out to an early lead, but ultimately fall in the first set. 25-19. They are just getting underway with the second set as the Nittany Lions look to pull what would be a major upset over the number 2 overall seed in this year's NCAA championships. And there are so many places to start.
And softball lost this morning.
Yes, to Nebraska, the number 3 seed.
Correct.
Penn State went in as the 11 seed, got the big 6-2 win over Iowa in the opening round. Not good news probably for the Big Ten. I mean, great news for the host, Purdue, with the Boilermakers win yesterday, but it's probably going to keep the Big Ten at 4 softball programs entering the NCAA tournament. Northwestern, and I'm going on other experts. This is not, it's not like I'm sitting here telling you I've really looked at this. I'm reading and listening to the folks that follow softball, and they're saying that loss for Northwestern was a bad one and may end up keeping that program out. They got a couple of big wins over UCLA which I think is ranked 6th in the country. And the feeling was, man, if they just beat Purdue, they may be in. And certainly if they win a quarterfinal game, the sentiment seemed to be that they were an absolute lock, but probably just needed to beat Purdue. With the loss to Purdue, it seems very much in question. Not ruling out the possibility that Northwestern could get in, but a lot of folks seem to think that
Ironhead's first 4 out, I think I saw.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep.
So we can talk a little more about that stuff. But I'm on the way in, and I feel like we've talked about this to death, but I also feel like you're just never going to cover all of the ground. But they actually had a lawyer on the Pennsylvania Sports Network in their last half hour before our show, talking about the House versus NCAA case and just kind of different things moving forward. And there were a couple of things that I learned from it, and a couple of things that we've been talking about that they're like, yeah, they still got to still have to sort this out. And it just, as I'm listening to the discussion, and Title IX came up, and that's been, you've brought it up several times. It's still one of those things that everybody just seems to be, pushing it to the side. It's like, well, it's not going to get pushed to the side, like one way or another. And again, I don't know how it's going to play out. But the lawyer they had on was like, listen, within probably minutes, certainly within hours or days of the settlement being reached here, or the verdict being determined, there will be Title IX lawsuits, among other lawsuits. Again, the lawyers are going to be the big winners. But that is still one of the big questions, is there going to be a demand or a legal obligation, more so, that the money, the revenues, which is earned solely, like 99.9% solely by football and men's basketball, is it going to be
everywhere?
Yes. Is it going to have to be equally distributed between male and female athletes? And that is not known. This is what I think is going to happen, though, and it's going to be another one of those things where initially you may celebrate. If you're a big fan of women's sports and equal rights and all that, if let's just say it plays out, there is a lawsuit filed, courts come back and say, yep, it has to be equally distributed because of the education component, Title IX, all of that. I think within perhaps minutes or hours, but within a year or two, you are going to see, and you may see this regardless, but I think you're going to see that men's basketball and football, I don't know how it's going to play out. It may be that they have to unaffiliate themselves directly from the university. I don't know enough about the legal ramifications and the structural implications and all of that, but they're going to get around it.
Yeah,
it is my strong feeling.
Rightfully so. I mean, considering what we're talking about, and that's profit sharing and stuff like that.
And then what I think is going to have to happen is you are just going to have, in essence, each sport form its own league. And I don't mean league like the conferences that we currently have. I mean, like you have the NFL and the NHL. I think you're going to have a college football league, a college men's basketball league, a college women's basketball league, a college wrestling league, a college women's gymnastics league, so on and so forth. And they're all going to have to all figure out, all right, how do we make this work from a revenue standpoint? It is, I think, would literally turn everything upside down as we know it. And the college sports model that we have known for all of our lifetimes will be completely gone. I mean, I get people will say, well, it's already gone. I mean, like no NCAA, no scholarships. Like I think it's going to be affiliated, like by geography with the universities. And I don't know how. It'll be interesting to see how all of it gets managed. I think we're heading down a path where college athletics no longer exist. Like in terms of, all right, the college provides a scholarship and then you play, and that's how. I think that is going to go by the wayside if everything else plays out the way I think it now looks like it's going to play out. And I don't know how, so maybe weird. It won't be an immediate thing, but I think it's going to be a fairly quick thing.
Yeah, it's just going to be a weird thing. Like, okay, you're still bound to the university. You are Penn State University. You are still bound to go to school. You're still bound to go to classes, graduate, this and that. But yet we're not pertaining to any rules that have anything to do with and then the Penn State. Football will be part of something. Basketball will be part of something else. Wrestling something else. And
well, one of the problems that I think that they're just listening to this discussion got me, and I've been kind of thinking this stuff may head in that direction, and somehow these sports are going to become more like minor league sports. And again, they'll maybe rent the facility space from the university. I mean, I think there will be some connection, but I don't think it's going to be. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they'll need to. Just like minor league baseball kids, you certainly can go to school, but it's not a requirement. One of the things that I just don't see, I'm listening to the lawyer and the discussion that was going on. Again, this was on the Pennsylvania Sports Network in the final half hour of the show before ours. And one of the things, and we've talked about this, one of the things that is a real sticking point at the moment is the NCAA wants to have this clearinghouse that is going to determine whether third-party entities, they don't want there to be pay for play. Well, okay. I mean, we all know that's, in some cases, at least, what is happening now. They want to avoid at least the appearance of that. And so the proposal is they're going to have this clearinghouse, which is going to be set up to determine whether or not, and this is where I just think the whole thing is going to fall apart, because if I put my house on the market, okay, and every other house of a similar size in our neighborhood is going for, I'll just make $400,000, and there is somebody out there that's well off, and they're like, man, that house has sentimental value to me. I looked it up, and my great-great-grandparents lived there, or whatever it may be. But there's some sort of sentimental attachment, or nope, that's just the specific house. We really like the way, it sits in the corner of the neighborhood, or, whatever the case may be. I want to make sure I get it. I'm going to give you $500,000. Well, in the real world, I'm going to say thank you. And whoever needs to sign off on it is going to, man, good deal for you. Great. And you move on. Well, what the NCAA is proposing is that there may be sentimental value, but everybody else in your neighborhood, those houses are going for around $400,000. We might let you get away with $405 or $410, but we're not going to let you. Well, if I'm the guy being offered the $500,000, I'm saying, well, no, this is none of your business. It is worth $500,000 because that's what that guy's willing to pay. And we've talked about this because part of it is I don't know how they determine. I don't know how you possibly can determine quote unquote fair market value. Again, like if you take the average of all wrestlers across the country, right? Well, that's not what a fair market value would be in State College or in Iowa City or in Stillwater. Like if you're taking all of, well, no, we're taking the top end. Okay, well, even there, a Carter Starachi versus a Joe Schmo who's good, but maybe doesn't brand himself the same way, doesn't have the same credentials. And again, you could have somebody with greater credentials and just doesn't have quite the personality. This guy, how are you? Yeah. How is the NCAA going to determine? And the other part of that is how many folks are going to work in this clearinghouse, and how many deals are they going to have to look at on a regular basis? Like this, I just don't see how this is workable or in any way. And again, I'm certainly not a legal expert, and I was listening intently to the lawyer. I just don't see legally how the NCAA will have a leg to stand on, because to me, the first time the NCAA says no, we got to flag this. This seems like pay for play. Again, if I'm a well-off individual and I'm like, no, I really want to give this guy this to promote my product, we go to court. How is the NCAA going to? Well, no, but this guy over here only got that. Well, yeah, but this is this deal, and this guy is saying this is worth. I just don't understand how the NCAA will be able to step in and tell somebody that. I understand the intent, and I can even, maybe theoretically support the intent. I just think there's zero possibility of that holding up.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten 3 phone calls just this week alone about, do I know anybody who'd be interested in this type of NIL deal? And I'm being serious. Now, I have, I would call 3 or 4 guys because I've done it. Would they be interested in doing this? And then I got to draw up a contract, send it to the what you said, Westinghouse, the clearinghouse. Sorry, Westinghouse clearinghouse, and then they have to make a decision on it. Then they got to come back, and then they got to send it to the athlete, and their lawyers got to see it, and they got to pass. I mean, this is not going to be a quick thing, and you're going to try to do this hundreds of thousands of times, millions of times, because it's not just football; it's all sports.
Well, and here is the other. So. There's just so many. I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to get messier and messier. So, all right, let's say, Frank's auto dealer says, yep, I want to bring in Wrestler X. And Wrestler X, to me, is worth $1 million over the next 4 years. So I'll give him $250,000 every year because, man, I think he's going to push cars like nobody else around. And the NCAA steps in, says, no, that's too much money. There's kids over here that are hawking cars, and they're only getting $10,000 for their 4-year career. I mean, for crying out loud, we can't have that type of disparity. Well, number one, I don't know. I think the NCAA would lose every time in court is my guess. Yep. Because I don't know how you can tell 2 people. But let's just say, all right, the NCAA has told me I can't do this. And I'm like, I'm the business, and I'm not going to court. I'm just like, I'm still going to give you the money. And the athlete says, cool, I'm still going to take the money. What is the NCAA's punishment, and to whom does the punishment go? Can the NCAA is going to go to the athlete and say, listen, you accepted this money, and we've told you can accept money, but we told you can't accept this much money from this particular individual, so now we rule you ineligible. Well, how many times is that going to happen before the coaches and the fans say, what are you doing? Like, you just suspended, 10 of the top stars in our game for taking too much money. Yep. When you said they could take money, but you're going to kind of arbitrarily determine what is too much, and and you can't just punish the school, right? I mean, fairly, I don't think, and the coach, right? In theory, at least, Has nothing to do with
So what happened, Jeff?
This third-party arrangement.
Do they go back to the McDonald's bags and say, "Hey, take this. Don't tell anybody we gave this to you, but stay here."
And that's the other
you're going
thing.
onto the table again.
So they are acting as though that the NCAA I'm talking about is acting as though, all right, by
everybody's clean.
Yes, by giving this $22.5 million. Well, no, not every. By giving this $22.5 million dollars. And by the way, this is much like the scholarship thing. That $22.5 million keeps getting thrown out. That is basically the schools can give up to that amount. They're not being forced to give that amount. And I don't know exactly what the because like they were talking, this lawyer said like Boise State might be able to come up with $10 million for its athletes. Maybe. Like the number of schools that are going to be able to, oh yeah, here's the 22.5. And it's just like with the scholarship limits. Now, again, football, I think whoever remains in big time football, they're all going to go in on the 105. If that is the number that's ultimately settled on. Basketball will, go in on whatever that number settles in. But very few of these other programs are going to go to what the new NCAA max is for these scholarships. And while I would argue there's always been a wide disparity, they were giving the examples of Alabama and Vanderbilt or Ohio State and Northwestern. Nobody thinks, even though those teams are in the same conference, those programs are in the same conference, they're playing by the same general rules. Nobody thinks that Vanderbilt and Alabama are on even footing or Ohio State and Northwestern. But what I am absolutely convinced of now is that disparity is going to widen even greater. Think of the disparity between like the Yankees or the Dodgers and the Pirates and maybe exponentially increase that by maybe 10 times. Like we're not going to be in the same atmosphere when you're talking about now. Penn State is in one of the halves right now. I mean, they're in a good spot in the overall scheme of things here, but I just don't see that it's sustainable with the programs. And then the question becomes, well, how many programs can make what in any of these sports make this sustainable and workable? And do you have enough of those programs in each sport to make quote unquote big time Division I athletics still a possibility? And I don't know the answer to that.
Does anybody?
I don't think right now.
You know what, Jeff?
I mean, there's a lot of guesswork involved right now.
I'm happy we don't have Pat Kraft's job. With all of this that's going on and on and on.
Somewhere.
I mean, we've been talking about this for 4 years now, and nothing. It's just. It's like open this door and there's 3 more doors you got to go through. Any of those doors, there's 4 more doors behind that one, and then you have the ditch on the other side. If you go through this door, you're going to fall into a black hole, and it's just so many questions that come up. I mean, you're going to sit there and say the Title IX, and then the Title IX that goes into men and women's sports. So you can have both of those things, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's going to come to a decision needed on that. All of the money that these guys are getting, rather than pay for play versus the NIL. I mean, all we've asked for is what? Transfer portal. Just clean it up a little bit, and then the NIL money, pay for play. I don't mind guys going out making money selling their name, image, and likeness. That's fine. But the pay for play thing is what's getting out of control. That's, in my opinion. Now, I'll just say the Michigan quarterback, the recruit coming in for $10 million from the Oracle, the lady whose husband owns Oracle, and he has a $10 million package to play football in Michigan. That's crazy to think about. But what is he doing for all of that? So I don't know how the logistics, how it's drawn up. Is he doing advertising for them, or is it true just pay for play? Because I don't believe in that. That's just over the counter, buying players is what, schools have been doing for 50, 60 years and, well, hell, 100 years now. Who knows? But it's just going to get worse. There's no real way out of this other than the saying, we are no longer a collegiate, thing. It is a big business opportunity right now for the players and the fans and the universities and whoever are the owners of these teams and the leagues. And it is monster money being thrown around out there.
It is. And
I don't know.
The part of what I think has made college sports such a part of the fabric of American life is the connection with the university. And even if you're not an alum of a university, that there is an allegiance to the university, maybe sometimes the coach, maybe sometimes it's just, it's proximity. Sometimes it's just, man, I like that color scheme, that, religion plays into it, whatever it may be. But there is a genuine emotional connection. And now, do we have connections with our pro sports teams? Of course. It's going to change. I don't know necessarily that it's going to end anything, but it's going to change, I think, substantially the dynamics that are involved right now in college athletics if we go down the path of just flat out.
I say I'm okay. If you want to do the pay-for-play thing,
get
a salary cap and stay within the bounds. I mean, you cannot have these teams spending $50 million and other teams spending $5 million because the haves and the have-nots are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like you told me 3 years ago, how many college football teams actually have a chance of winning a national title? Like how many Cincinnati's are out there like, okay, we're in preseason camp. We go undefeated. We may have a chance to go to a playoff game. We got to win 5 of them how many teams realistically have an opportunity to win a national title? Realistically, 25, 30? In actuality, it's probably 12 to 15 tops.
Yeah, I don't think it's more than 20.
Yeah, and
I really don't.
Is Cincinnati playing on the same ground rules as Ohio State? No. The same way Villanova's not playing and Temple's not playing the same way as Penn State. Will we get better players? Yeah. So the divide is going to go bigger and bigger and bigger. Just thinking out loud that maybe there should be a salary cap, and then how many people you can have on your roster. We already have that, but then it's just going to go right back to going under the table. The $10 million the kid from Michigan is going to get, you're only allowed to have $1 million max a year for a player. Okay, well, guess what? Guess someone's going to get him another $3 million a year somehow, some way. And that's just going right back to, complete out of control, no rules whatsoever. And, the richer are going to get richer under the table. Now they're going to, or you do it over top, is the salary cap the way to go? I mean, it's an opportunity. Again, I'm thinking as a football player, you have a whole different mindset with your wrestling because it is 2 different worlds. I don't know. I mean, we've been sitting here talking about this same conversation for 4 or 5 years, and you have ideas and recommendations, but will that work? Will everybody abide by them? If you have a $2 million, $5 million a year for your 105 players, you have $5 million to spend. Will teams go over that? Will there be punishments or no punishments? Will there be under the table? I don't know.
Well, what I don't know, so the teams may not, like the schools may not. I think you can get folks abiding there. Where I don't know how you prevent a business from.
You want to do it
if that's what they want to do with their money. Yeah. I just don't see.
Who are you
how
to say
you can
no?
Stop a kid from saying, yes, I'll accept your $1 million offer, $10 million offer to advertise and be in your commercials or whatever it may be that you want me to do. I understand not wanting it. But I don't see what you can do legally to prevent it. I mean, right now, if there's a big business owner in Pittsburgh that says, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers, if you come here, I'll kick in another $20 million from our business." Well, the NFL doesn't sit there and say, "Whoa, no, that's not fair market value. You can't just give them $20 million when." Well,
good point, Ironhead.
So I just that's the part that I'm just not seeing the legal foothold here that the NCAA has to step in and arbitrate in any way third-party deals. And yes, are those third-party deals going to be pay for play? I mean, again, it might not be the university per se, might be the big money boosters with the university. But one thing I did know that I learned from the discussion on the Pennsylvania Sports Network is that there is an exemption. So right now, that clearinghouse, you have to get those third-party deals approved unless it is a publicly traded company that is providing the offer. Well, do you think Phil Knight in Oregon might take advantage of that particular
Oracle
opportunity? We'll take a break here. We are back with much more. It is our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show right here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. Actually, before we take the break, we'll just hang on here because Penn State is trying to close out the second set here in this quarterfinal match with Hawaii, and the Nittany Lions just have. So Penn State, did they not get it? Yeah, they put up the wrong score. 25-21, Penn State wins set 2, so they are even at a set apiece as they go to the third set in the NCAA quarterfinals. We're coming right back after this on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX,
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on a Thursday afternoon. If you did not hear again, Pittsburgh Pirates did part ways with manager Derek Shelton. Not a surprising move at all, but also I do think that perhaps the problem lies in a lineup that features, I think, one batter that is hitting 250 or above. Like I'm not exactly sure. Now, am I okay shaking things up? Sure. But anybody following this organization knows darn well you can get rid of the manager, you can get rid of the general manager, until you get rid of the owner, until there is a change at the very top and a genuine sentiment from the top on down that, hey, maybe we ought to be in this to try to win, like win at the highest level. It's not going to matter. It's just not. It doesn't matter who the GM or the manager is. Again, you can maybe try to get lightning in a bottle somewhere along the way, but the fact that they have made no significant moves to either shore up the bullpen or provide some semblance of a threat in your offensive lineup when you have that starting pitching core. And I mean, it is readily apparent now. They just are planning to waste the Paul Skeens years. That alone, I like Major League Baseball ought to be able to step in and say, wait a second. You can't do to your fan base what you are doing when you have one of the great pitching prospects in the history of the game. Certainly the pitcher that right now folks want to see. Yep. I mean, this is the phenom in all of the sport.
I do not watch Pittsburgh sports, but I will watch a Paul Skeens pitch game.
And you have a good supporting starting staff around him, and then you have nothing else. I mean, Key Brian Hayes is a terrific defensive asset at third. Neil Cruz, fine. You have very, very little in way of major league talent, let alone top level major league talent that you are surrounding them with. Their whole plan, well, we're going to win around the margins. And again, maybe you blame some of this on Derek Shelton. Their fundamentals to go with everything else have also been horrible. They do make some god-awful decisions, some god-awful plays, and they've done that pretty consistently over the last 6 years. Base running has genuinely, generally, but I meant generally been atrocious from this organization. So I'm not necessarily against trying to shake it up a little bit and make a move at manager. Maybe it helps in the short term. But they have made no effort to bring in the type of talent that you need to be anywhere near competitive as a major league organization.
Oh, not at all. I mean, who did they pick up this year? Who they picked up the last 3 or 4 off seasons?
Yeah, it's just been beyond frustrating.
It's
now,
the annual signing of Andrew McCutcheon to one more year.
On the other side of things, I think the Steelers' move here with George Pickens is very interesting, because I do think Pickens. I don't think. We know. Pickens was a significant headache for the coaching staff and was a problem in the locker room, and I'm not sure. I've read a couple pieces. Wow, that the Steelers probably just decreased their chances of getting Aaron Rodgers. I'm not at all sure about that. And either way, I'm not sure what their prospects. I don't think George Pickens was the key to Aaron Rodgers' decision. If that was the case, Rodgers would have asked for an assurance a while ago, and they would have gotten the deal done. That was not. That's not the key to whether Aaron Rodgers comes to Pittsburgh or not. I will just say, when I first read, I'm like, really only a 3rd-round draft pick? But the more I'm listening to the analysts talk about it, it's like, oh, man, the Steelers really pulled one over on the Cowboys. And it's not because the talent of George Pickens isn't worth more than a 3rd-round pick, but because of how much of a problem he really is in the locker room and for a head coach, that the addition by subtraction here,
they wanted him.
Steelers are in a better position,
and
will get a 3rd and a 5th round pick in exchange for Pickens and a 6th round pick. So, and the Steelers generally draft very well. I think they're coming off. I loved their draft this year. I will obviously see how it all plays out, but I think they firmed up the middle part of that defense. I think they got some high character guys. I think they got a running back to help pound the ball the way they like to do. And they may very well have snuck in there and picked up their quarterback of the future. We'll see.
For you. To put in perspective, the 5th round and 3rd round for Pickens, the Eagles traded the 3rd round pick last year for Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
So that gives you any indication of how bad the Steelers wanted to get rid of Pickens.
Yeah.
One of the ESPN or one of the NFL talking heads put something on Twitter today that there was no way the Steelers eventually were going to pay Pickens and
Metcalf.
Yeah. It's just not. Yeah. That's just not their. That's not their way. But like, again, go back to DK Metcalf. What was he told was going to be going on? Unless like the dollar signs was what really made his decision for him. He doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have an opposite receiver right now. An unproven O-line, an unproven running back, an unproven quarterback. It could be pretty bad. Are they admitting and are they going into, all right, well, we're building for the future here? Do you think, or is there like what do you think? A month from now, who's the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? In the Ironhead
world? A really good question. I think it's going to be either Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. If it's Rudolph, to me, you're pretty much discounting the chances of being a contender in the upcoming season. I'm not altogether convinced that even if Aaron Rodgers comes in and it works out well, that the Steelers are necessarily quite there yet in terms of being a legit contender for the Super Bowl. I think with Rodgers, they're very likely a playoff team, but they've been a playoff team. That's not the aspiration if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think though with Mason Rudolph, and I like Rudolph as a backup quarterback. I think he's a serviceable type of player. the Steelers, with everything else they have right now, serviceable isn't what's going to get them to the playoffs at quarterback. They need something pretty darn good at quarterback to get anywhere near contention status in the upcoming season. We're going to take a short break here, and we are back with much more. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans, because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox.
State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back.
Amazing.
Taking care of a little business. apologize.
You've done this a few times, huh?
Keeping an eye on the clock at all times. By the way, third set. Boy, this is turning into one heck of a battle. Penn State and Hawaii. It's now the Rainbows up 14-13 and now 15-13. But battling in the third set. They split the first two sets, so it's 1-1 here in the NCAA quarterfinals. Hawaii coming in as the number 2 seed. Penn State ultimately earning the number 7 seed here in these NCAA championships. Boy, it'd be fun to see Penn State pull off a huge upset here and get into the semifinals.
It's been a heck of a year,
if they could do that, they'd be following very much in the path of Guy Godowski's hockey program with the rough start that the men's volleyball team got off to this past season.
You done with your Pirates?
We'll see. The shakeup. I mean, sometimes you just get a different.
You're not going to fire the players. That's the old adage.
No, and. But again, they just don't have enough big league players to make any kind of run. I don't care who your manager is.
I go back to what you say. When will Major League Baseball step in here?
Yeah,
say, you've done nothing.
The
Devil. They're making aren't they in their petitions to make the Devil Rays sell their team for similar reasons. By the way, the Phillies are playing in Tampa this week. I don't know if you know, but they play at the Yankees practice spring training facility because the dome in Tampa got beat up in a hurricane.
Yeah.
So they're playing in a minor league ballpark.
Yeah.
It just looks like it out there. And you're watching Major League Baseball, and they're still not selling out. You have one of the top teams in the league coming down there. A lot of Philly people down there.
Yeah.
They got to go. Miami, same way. It's just so much going on down in South Florida that, I don't know, but again, does Major League Baseball come to the Pirates and say you need to spend this much money in the offseason? I mean, who have they signed? What have they done? I mean, I know Cruz is obviously a big money player.
Yeah,
is he still on his rookie contract? It's his third year in the league.
Yeah, listen, they have to. Major League Baseball is not going to do anything, and there's more and more rumblings that the Pirates may be leaving Pittsburgh when the stadium contract runs up here.
They already got rid of the bricks
in a bunch more years, and so it's just very frustrating. I mean, I don't know that there's really anything that you can do or. But that's the problem. You're basically held hostage if you are a sports fan, and what really is frustrating and leaves you just with the feeling that there's nowhere you can go or nothing you can do here is that, what do you normally do if you're unhappy with a business? Well, I don't go to that business. Well, if you don't go to the Pirates games, and that's a perfectly reasonable reaction. That's probably the right reaction. It's like, no, I'm not going to fork money over to these guys with the product they're putting on the field. It's not worth it. And okay, but if you do that long enough, then what's what happens? Oh, Pittsburgh doesn't support baseball. Well, no, it doesn't support god-awful baseball with no inclination to put out a winning product. That's different than not supporting baseball. And we've talked about this over the years. It is funny to me that you give Browns fans a lot of credit. Do you give them credit for going out and supporting an organization that just puts out a
they just have product. Bad luck. They just have bad luck. They
year
make
after
moves.
Year. That man, you got to give them credit.
They just make bad moves.
Cubs fans for years. Now it's changed, but for years, you got to give Cubs fans credit. Do you? They were going and paying good money to be in a ballpark that was largely falling apart at one time to watch a product that was awful. Like, yeah, man, you gotta well, what was the incentive there? I mean, at least the Pirates fans, by not showing up, in theory, Bob Nutting ought to be looking at it, well, maybe I ought to put out a winning product and see if they'll come and support that. But that's not, well, no, and now I have even less money and I'm going to do even less to put out a winning product. And it just becomes, so you're stuck. No, I'll show you how good of a fan I am, and I'm going to keep giving money to a guy that I know isn't going to put out a winning product. Well, that doesn't seem right.
Fanatic without fan.
But are you not going to support your hometown team? And now there's, kind of a threat here. It hasn't been outwardly expressed, but it's known and it's understood now. And you're starting to see more and more articles. Come 2030, this could be an organization that goes elsewhere.
Not a Pennsylvania guy.
What the Pirates are going to be able to say is, well, yeah, the fans aren't turning out. We have to go elsewhere. So you are really caught here if you are a Pirates fan, if you are the fan base, because no matter what you do, you're screwed. And that's what happens when you get god-awful ownership.
So what do you think
which the Pirates
he would get in a different city? Would he get a stadium? But they already have a stadium.
Yeah,
I can see where if the city, I mean, Pirates own it, right? The
PNC Park.
Yeah,
I believe that. Yes.
I mean, I know it was a lot of I bust your chops to say it was Philadelphia money that had to get spent in Philly and Pittsburgh. I get it, but so what's he going to do? Get a new team to go out to? I mean, I'm just going to say Des Moines, Iowa. What is Des Moines, Iowa going to get him that Pittsburgh doesn't offer him? A bunch of fans to come to games? You put a product on the field.
Bunch of fans that they'll just be glad to have baseball, and for the first few years they'll put they'll sell out because it's cool.
It's
we
been
have
a
Major
brutal
League Baseball
year, by the way, for them boys. You know that, right? Between the them covering up the 21 number, and then the back that up with a drunk 20-year-old falling out of the stands, and thank God the kid's alive.
It has been a PR nightmare. Yeah, I don't know if we know if he was drunk, and there's been a lot of conflicting stories on exactly what happened there and how that played out.
I had heard the people, but what do you believe?
But it has been a PR nightmare. I mean, on the field and off the field, it's just been a PR nightmare for the Pirates. And there's been a few national articles on exactly that, like how could one organization just have this much bad news, both on and off the field for the first month and a half here of the season?
It hasn't been a good couple months in Pittsburgh, by the way.
If the season gets trashed, get Will Howard in there. Yes, if the sooner the better. Listen, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign, and it is Mason Rudolph. To me, the earlier, now you got to assess if you're the Steelers. All right, where is Will Howard? Can he handle what we need him to handle if he's the starting quarterback? But to me, there's some urgency there. Let's get out and see what this guy can do. Now, again, I don't throw him out there week one.
He's not John Elway and Dan Marino.
Let's
not kid ourselves with it. He's a game manager who needs a good run game and had some good receivers. And will he have that?
Well, and that's the thing. So I do think there's going to be some. Let's just say the Steelers don't sign Rodgers, and it is in fact Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, and that's how you go into the season. I think it is going to be a little tricky here for the Steelers to, and again, a part of it is what they're going to see in practice, but practice is practice, games are games, but I don't think you want to get him in there if the offensive line continues to struggle and you don't get the running game going, what benefit is it to then put in your rookie and get his confidence trashed in terms of the rebuilding project that then clearly will be going underway in Pittsburgh. Now, again, if you're seeing some things, boy, it seems like he's getting it in practice. Again, maybe you get him in there. Hey, let's see how this goes in a game situation. And again, maybe you get that magical opportunity. But I think you need to be really careful in terms of when and how you bring him along in the upcoming season, especially if things do get derailed, because it's going to be easy for fans to, well, put Will Howard in there. It's not going to make any difference. And it may not this season, but if you're building for the future, how Will Howard is perceiving himself and what, and again, maybe you see, hey, this guy has the resilience and the confidence. He understands the situation. He knows he may take a beating. He knows he's going to be fine on the other side of that. Man, if you make that assessment and you're confident in it and you can talk through it with him, great. But I think, again, you got to really have your finger on the pulse there of what your quarterback's seeing, feeling, doing, the locker room, the whole bit, because it's going to be all with an eye toward, all right, let's get this thing moving in the right direction of the future. And listen, part of it is, I'm not sitting here telling you guaranteed that if you handle him right, Will Howard is the future here at quarterback. I think he has a chance to be, and I like his chances. I like his chances better than I did Kenny Pickett, and I was always kind of a 50-50 guy on Kenny Pickett. I was never convinced one way or the other that was going to work or not work. And Will Howard, I feel more optimistic about what he can do in the NFL, but we've seen it, Goon, where guys that had the physical tools and the ability to be good quarterbacks, they get crushed early on in their careers, and they never
confidence goes
really
away
recover.
real quick. And I saw something today. I just came to my head because it was a Johnny Manziel interview, and he's complaining about when he was playing that the older quarterbacks didn't help him out. And I'm just like, dude, it's not their job to do that.
Yeah.
And he goes, he just took all my confidence away because I was afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's on you then, bro.
Yeah.
That's 100% on you. It's just put it into the book of Manziel, book of excuses. I mean, I just could not believe what I was hearing. But Will Howard's going to go in there. He's not Dan Marino, Johnny Elway with the arm and this and that, and they're going to wow you that way, Joe Burrow style. He's going to be a game leader, a team leader. Guy's not going to turn the ball over, make stupid mistakes, and a lot like Roethlisberger, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's stepping into a situation that's a lot more tenuous than the one that Ben Roethlisberger stepped into. Roethlisberger stepped into a team that had an outstanding defense, had a great running game,
great leaders,
and a very good offensive line. So he really did need to just be that game manager, not make the critical mistake that was going to cost the team that first run. Again, the Steelers, if you put Patrick Mahomes on this team, I'm not convinced that this team just yet is ready to make a run. Now, would Mahomes or somebody like that get them closer? For sure. But that offensive line is just still very much a work in progress and needs to get definitively better. Again, the receiving core now, with aside from Metcalf, I think there's some real question marks there. I think the defense is going to be very solid. Again, I do like what they've done there and how they've addressed, handling things up the middle. And I think it's a solid secondary. So we'll see how it all plays out. Again, a lot to be determined. Getting ready to go into a commercial break here. We'll have a special guest on the other side. Before we take the break, Hawaii right now is up 24-22 in that pivotal third set in the NCAA men's volleyball quarterfinals. Again, Penn State softball earlier today losing to Nebraska. Do you remember the final on that? That was in
saw
the
8-2, but I think that may have been the hit.
Finals. Yeah, that doesn't. I'll look it up here real quick. But no Pirates baseball today. For that, we can be grateful. So on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, you do not have to suffer today through a Pirates game. Good news, bad news. They'll be back on tomorrow with the
Phillies next weekend, buddy.
Derek Shelton. Yeah.
So Power.
It's the time when I
Jeffrey
could really get excited about that.
When Jeffrey Powers, the general manager of Quaker Steak Lube, a long proud sponsor of ours, says to me yesterday, the Pirates are now, after last night, they are only 7 games below 10,000 losses. So they're 7 games below, they already have 10,000 losses. They're 7 games below a losing record in their history. And they have never, because they won their first game, it's like they've never, ever had a losing record as a professional franchise.
Their overall,
and they are record. 7 losses away from being
they will
at 500, and they might be in Philly next week.
They will have it for sure this year.
Absolutely. I would be devastated if the Philadelphia Phillies, the losingest organization in history of sports, a.k.a. the Philadelphia Phillies, are going to teach the Pirates a lesson next weekend of how to lose.
Could very well be. Very well be.
There we go. 24-23 right now.
Yeah, Penn State trying to hang in here. Big serve coming up.
I was telling Jeff, we're watching this before we came on, and it's like, I love watching the women's volleyball because it's like so intense and stuff like that. But dude, these guys, how do they not get their faces busted up and their fingers and hands? And I mean, they are just smashing that ball, dude. And that's a 10-foot net. How high is the net? Oh, that was it. Damn it. Okay.
So
Hawaii, carry to me, Jeff.
Hawaii wins the third set 25-23. So Hawaii now up 2-1 in the quarterfinals of the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championships. We're taking a break here. We are back with much more. It is our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox.
Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7. The Fox. State College. The Goon and Ironhead.
Oh, those guys. We are back.
Yeah.
Lean over.
I'm over here now.
Squish in.
Me and my boy Shotty.
Back here on a Thursday afternoon with Scott Walker, the general manager of the State College Spikes, maybe soon to be general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Made one move, still haven't. We're waiting for some other moves. Good to see you, Mr. Walker. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a little while. Well, what do we got? We got a big season coming up.
Nothing going on.
Nothing at all.
No.
If only you had scheduled a few days to have some fun at the ballpark with some interesting promotions. Maybe next year.
Yeah,
We'll take it into consideration.
We'll just get by.
When do you get underway? I'm going to keep playing a little bit with your.
Yeah, this is
here.
Walker's, Scotty's busy time of year. They're about ready to drop a team on you. And coaches versus kids.
Yeah.
All at the same time. Team gets in town at the end of the month, first weekend, June 1, June 2, and then we go on the road on the 4th. Home opener, 6th, 7th, and 8th of June.
So, yeah. Okay. And well, I do want to talk a little bit more about the Spikes too, but we do have Coaches versus Cancer coming up here at the end of the month as well with the big golf tournament, and just a really fun weekend, but a meaningful weekend. And we continue. I tell you, I'm reading more and more about some of the advancements that are being made in some specific cancer treatments. It really is amazing to see the progress that is being made, and obviously the hope is, man, we're going to get here sooner rather than later, where we figure out how to beat this thing all together.
It takes an army, and we're fortunate to have one that goes to work and raises money for cancer research or for people in the community that need it, that are going through cancer. One of our best friends, we watched him from scratch to finish, go through being diagnosed, go through treatment, go through procedures, and then ultimately be cancer-free. And that's what
had a port removed last week.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
This is why we do it. That's why we do it.
No doubt about it. Everybody has somebody. You can't talk to anybody who, I haven't had any kind of history with the cancer.
Right.
No, everybody has a story with the cancer.
Yep. Or you know somebody. Or
internally, yourself, your family, your mother, your father, brother, sister, or a family friend or a person you went to school with. And I am big time of the ilk that, our two friends who did have cancer beat it because they got diagnosed early with it. Yeah. And that is almost like, I noticed that a lot, is that it is the early detection stuff that really gets you, gets the doctors a little bit of a better game plan of how to attack it and stuff like that.
Sure.
And there are so many different cancers out there. Like my father-in-law is going through some stuff right now, which is completely different chemo than they would for a breast cancer or a prostate cancer or a colon cancer. And it's just how they can narrow it down like that is a good thing, because they are obviously, some stuff is working and they're having some success with some of this stuff and some of that stuff. But it is horrible watching people go through it. And, Jeff and I play a golf tournament down in Florida with Austin Schanfelter, and I say it all the time. We're a bunch of knuckleheads. We have a good time. We go down and party our butts off and this and that. But you know what? When it comes down to it, we raise a lot of money for kids in need.
Yes, indeed.
And a lot like the Coaches vs. Cancer, it is a top high-end affair. I tell people all the time, if you ever have an invite to it, you got to get to it because of how well done you guys do it. And you're what, 5, 6, 10 years on the board now?
12.
Oh, Lord.
12. Actually, no, this is 13.
Oh, Lordy. So
2012. Actually, it was Chambers' first year. It was my first year.
All right. And, the basketball coaches have always taken a stronger approach to it because it comes from I believe it bleeds in from the Dickie Vitale and Jim Valvano stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Coach Rhodes and I we did the radio tour this morning at 8 a.m. So, he's out there helping us any way he can. The committee's tremendous. It starts with Wendy Pelkey and Mike Martin. And the three of us, we lead the team, but really Wendy's she's the doer. Without Wendy, we wouldn't have such a crisp event. She really
every year I have to beg her not to put me in a playing group. And then she's like, oh, you're playing in the AM and PM. And I'm like, Wendy?
That's because we're selling so many teams that we need all these captains. We're going to need like 85 captains. We're probably going to approach close to 450.
Is that right?
Golfers, yeah.
Where are you at now? Are still in need? Still an opportunity for golfers that would be interested?
Yeah, not much longer, but about another week because then we need to produce things. We need some time to produce signage or anything that needs done. Yeah. But we could still take some more teams. Sponsorships are still available. I'd be super happy to help you with that. Thanks, Goon, for your help on some of those as well.
Always.
Volunteers, we could use fundraising. If you want to come bring us some money to the table, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
And we'll give it to the right places.
Yes.
But where is that, Joe?
Scotty? Sure. So we have a partnership with the American Cancer Society. So a lot of our money does go to research. But something that was very important to my predecessors and our current folks, the committee and everybody, is that a portion of the money we raise stays here locally in Center County. So we have a very good partnership with the Bob Perks Cancer Assistance Fund with Doreen Perks. So we're able to cut them a check, based on how much we raise total. We can cut them a check, and then they have mechanisms by which they can identify folks in need in the community and award them the funds they need.
And I love what the Perks Foundation does with the gas and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Yep. They cover real life expenses.
Yes, they do.
You think about being diagnosed, you don't think about what happens after that. Right?
We're seeing that with Rich, you know what I mean? We're seeing exactly what goes on.
Yep.
With our friend Richie Whitmer. There's a lot of, he wasn't working, so he needed to fulfill that income, and then he needed rides because he couldn't drive, and this and that, and there's a lot going into it. And then he has a young 9-year-old kid at the time. Did we get his wife, meals and stuff like that? There's a lot of stuff that goes into it that you really don't think about, but other than you better prepare for the fight of your life, and that's what they need to be preparing for. They don't need to be worrying about a lot more stuff on the outside, and I think that's what the Coaches vs. Cancer, they do a lot of that stuff, and they take a lot of the what ifs out of the equation.
If folks are interested in sponsoring, volunteering, or signing up, where should they go?
Coach Rhodes, his cell phone number is
what?
No,
I like it.
Go to CVC.
He actually probably would take the call. Say, "Yep, I'll take your information, and we'll get that worked out." Yep.
And I would ask you if you have a 7-foot Croatian that plays basketball too.
CVCPennState.org, one-stop shop. All the events are on there. There's contact info. American Cancer Society folks are on there. You can reach out to them to start the conversation, or email Mike, Wendy, or I.
And this is coming up last Friday in May.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So Thursday night is the affair. So what do we have on Thursday?
Yep, Thursday night we have a big reception at the ballpark. It has really honestly become like the annual family reunion for everybody that's involved with Coaches vs. Cancer. All the players, coaches, everybody that's been a part of it. It is the chance for all of us to get together, and just the smiles on everybody's faces at that event is tremendous.
It is. It is just fun to see. It's a lot like, we were talking a little bit. We do a wrestling breakfast in the fall and the spring, and one of the neat things, and it's the same thing. We just had it yesterday, is why it's on my mind. But it's much the same thing with the Coaches versus Cancer, which is that there are a lot of faces that I know I'm going to see at the breakfast each time, and I look forward to seeing them, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time at that breakfast, though, we have, all right, anybody that's here for the first time, and there's always at least 5, and usually it's like, anywhere from 10 to 20 people. They're like, yeah, I'm here for the first time. It's like, oh, cool. And we get to meet them, and I, met a young lady who's going to be wrestling at Lock Haven, has a terrific backstory, just a really interesting family. But it's much the same thing. There are people that you know are going to be there every year. We see the same faces, but also every year there's like, have you been here before? Nope.
Right.
And you get to meet. It's just a neat event in that way, because you feel like you keep bringing more and more new people in, but you're not losing anybody else along the way.
Very important to meet new people. Like Goonie, you just brought in a group for us recently that are new to it.
Yep.
And I think they'll come, and they will never not come back.
Yeah. I actually talked to some current players on the football program now. I had to get the okay if they were allowed to even be there, because in years past it was not. It could be considered a perk. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you can't play in a golf tournament to raise money for cancer. How dare you?
Can't appear in a poster.
You can't appear. Real funny, Pat. Real funny. Come on, man.
That's a giveaway item this year. I've been working with Raymond at theprinters.com to get some.
No, you
some
come on.
No. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Come on, dude.
You secretly love it. No.
Like, do you know why I get upset? We're talking about the 1995 schedule poster. The Bryce Jordan was being built that summer. There are cranes and bulldozers and just massive pieces of equipment running around. Put the offensive line guys in some bib overalls and have them out in the mud, throwing some steel around, But no, they dressed us up as Eddie Bauer, little cover boys, and put us on Maine. They threw fake leaves on the ground. It was like a mid-August and mid-July. We're sweating our new-news off out there on Old Main, and they have the fall looks. Oh my goodness!
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I've only 30 years I've been dealing with that picture, man. I tell you, Jeff knows. I almost got. We were actually all not ineligible for a day.
Yeah,
the 4 of us.
No, you broke the law.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, unbeknownst to us. Thanks, guys.
Love it.
Yeah, that was a great one. So you're not doing that, are you?
No.
I will never show it now.
It's the 30th anniversary.
Oh my God.
It's the 30th anniversary of CVC too.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it just ties together.
That does. That ties together absolutely perfectly.
28th annual golf.
I have to say this is that Penn State is actually very, very high up in this Coaches versus Cancer world with money that they've raised in these 30 years since it's begun.
Yeah, we haven't looked at it recently, but we're always one of the top handful of chapters in the country. It's because of the people involved. I mean, it started with Coach Parkhill.
And the commitment of people, too.
The commitment of people.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the community coming together and making it happen. It's a lot of work. I mean, it
is a ton of work, but again, how many people do you know that have I don't have a cancer story? There's nobody out there.
Right. Everybody knows something.
I mean, it's absolutely a horrible, horrible thing that, my wife and I are going through right now with her father. It's just, it really hurts, man. And then, see one of your best friends go through it and all that. So,
yep.
And then again, it takes Coach Chambers, Coach Rhodes, Parkhill, Dunn, all of those guys. They have to get involved. They have to, want to get their guys back for it. And they do. It is a great basketball reunion, but there's also a lot of other guys, a lot of other people in town. Some names that were thrown out there, but we can't, they're not really disclosed as of yet if they're guarantees to be there. But I know guys, and once you go, it's like I told Jeff about Austin's tournament last year. Once you go to Valerie's house, which is the house of grieving, once you go there once, you're not going to miss that trip again.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Coaches versus Cancer. It's important to me. Lost my mother to the disease, so I'll do whatever I can. If Scott ever calls me and says, "Hey, can you do this?" Of course I'll do it. I will do anything I can to help it out.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Goony.
Sure,
More
buddy.
than you know. More than you know.
Huh. I got to get you 38 more.
We need 30 more guys. Yeah, by the way,
38 more captains here. I got the whole defensive staff and team is out there. So, yeah, and we're also now you're doing this. Anybody who's ever run a golf tournament knows how hard it is, how much like the last 2 weeks of it is, and then now you're trying to get your team.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So let's transfer over to that now. Now we got Scott Walker, the general manager of the State College Spikes.
Home opener June 6th, so 1 week right after CVC Golf.
But you got to get these guys in their homes, hotels, all of that stuff, and
Well, I'm fortunate there too at the Spikes to have a great staff. We've got folks that have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
They're seasoned veterans, and we've done this together many a time before, and we're looking forward to doing it again. We just got our roster actually at 1:30 a.m. this morning.
Okay.
And there's some good names on there from some really big schools, and it's cool. A sprint. They literally get into town, we get them housed, we send them on the road, and they play baseball.
I have a genuine question for you on the promotional front.
Sure.
What happens when, do you guys just sit around and all right, this is our promotional day, bring your ideas? Is it just different days, different guys? Hey, have we considered
I
this?
will jump in on this.
Yeah.
And this cat right here, he's got a brain for this marketing
stuff.
It's very,
I know that he does, but
really, really amazing. Because you'll have your regular stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
Now, your one big one that you've worked on since February.
Eagles night, Elgsis night.
Yes. And I think no one would think of that. And then Walker calls me and he goes, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Dude, that is amazing."
It's actually Dan Petrozzola's idea.
It was the mayor of Philadelphia who misspelled Eagles.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
So we're going to wear jerseys, Kelly Green throwback retro jerseys with Elgsis with the Spikes S as the logo in the middle. It's going to be
She's been invited
all
too.
Kinds of stuff.
She's been invited
there.
But is it do you sit around and have a meeting where you're we
get the Sharpies and the napkins out and we come up with ideas, and somebody will have an idea and then you'll take it and you'll run with it, and then it develops into something like, we got 10 paragraphs worth of Philadelphia related stuff. Now all of a sudden I'm working with the Autism Foundation at the Eagles to benefit them through the jersey auction and stuff. So
I got you hooked up with Molnar,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
He's a good man.
Yes, indeed. So I mean, ideas, where do they come from? Groups of people getting together, thinking things through. Which one sounds good?
We were sitting here, Ironhead, when he had talked to Guy Godowski a year or two ago about having a bobblehead. And Guy was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then, they did what they did this year. And Scott was like, well, let's do it this year, So,
now,
Guys,
hold on a minute.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Well, Guy and I did agree to the bobblehead before any of the
I knew that
stuff. I wanted Guy bobblehead no matter what.
But we figured it out that day when he walked in here without his tooth.
Oh, it's beautiful. You got to see it. I have a
saw the mock-up that day, and even he loved it.
He's got the blue and white pinstripe suit on.
Yeah.
He's got a hockey stick in his hand. No tooth, baby.
I love it.
It's
and
beautiful.
What did I tell you that night? Who needs to sponsor this?
Carnicella, my dentist.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yep. Let me find out. I'll show you.
That would be the way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, he okayed it that day. I think that you said, here's the original. He's like, I love it. Because Guy is, as we all know how good of a guy he is.
The best.
Yeah, but there's a guy who will do anything, to help the State College Spikes out. And, it is a fun thing to do. I mean, how long have you guys been around now, Scott? 15, 20 years?
2006 was the first year.
So 19 years.
19 years will be 20th anniversary next year. We missed COVID year, like everybody else, but we've been around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here literally 20 years on June 1st this year. Huh. I literally moved back here 20 years ago in 2 weeks. So I've always said it's that, you live in a small town. We do live in a small town, but it's always like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Let's go to the Spikes. I mean, it's so much fun to go to the games, listen to it. They always have the promotions going on, always good drink specials, great foods and all that. So
thanks.
I do love going to the Spikes at night because I've always I love watching baseball, and it is a fun environment. And so now we can pin you down here. So we have the draft league. You are given players.
Yes.
Now, how many draft league teams are there?
6
in the whole country.
Yes.
Because we have our friend Dennis Rasmussen, who's in Billings, Montana.
He's an awesome guy.
Yes, he is. He asked for you last week when we were at the tournament. He's in Billings, Montana, again this year as the pitching coach for there, but it's an MLB draft league team. So you have what, 6 up here, and then they're out west also,
well,
or is he part of the
There's
same?
different leagues.
Oh, there is different leagues.
Yeah, the league we're in is a Major League Baseball draft league. We have ties right to the commissioner's office at MLB,
and you get players from them. So you're not going out as a GM and getting these players.
No, my job's not to find the next star shortstop. My job's to run the business, the events, the sales, the team, the staff, everything like that.
Yeah.
Prep Baseball Report is the one that has the agreement with Major League Baseball. They've been doing this for years and years and years. They identify top talent across the country, and then
who might need. Okay, so these guys aren't going to be top draft picks.
They could be.
They could be though. They could play their way into that, right?
Yes.
So you don't have like the top 10 overall players in the MLB draft league.
It's possible.
Okay, they would do that. They wouldn't.
I don't. If Joe Putnam were here, he would rattle off all the draft picks, their names, their mother's maiden name, their social security number, and so forth. But we've had plenty of guys drafted. I'll get the number to you, but lots of guys.
And then they get drafted in July, and then you get a new.
And then second half, we pretty much flip the roster almost entirely, and then those
a
guys
whole
don't
new
have
set
draft
of guys
eligibility,
coming in, right?
But they're still trying to make it and get noticed and get signed by big league clubs. And
As
we've had
free
plenty
agents.
of those. Yes, and we've had plenty of those.
Yeah,
so it's something like 300, if I remember correctly, guys that have, I forget the number. Let me get it for you. I don't want to misspeak. That's why we need Joe Putnam around. But
well, I'm reading different things. Do you have any? Everything I'm reading, the Spikes, one way or another, you're going to be moving forward, and we're going to have local minor league baseball of some sort here. Yes. Are you hearing anything in terms of the draft league as it currently exists in its future versus, hey, we need to retool things? And again, everything I'm reading is that the Spikes are going to be good no matter what happens. But every now and then you see a different article about this or that. And again, a lot of it, I guess, is just speculation. I don't know that you necessarily have any more insight or
there
not.
There was an extension through 2030. So the draft league is great under its current iteration and through 2030. Okay. Now, if the real question everybody always asks, well, what's the chances of being affiliated with a big league club again? The chances are there. There's a lot of moving parts. It's possible the work that we have done to the ballpark, if you've noticed.
I was going to say that has to be
that
helping.
All of that work was done to put us in a spot so that our facility is 100% compliant with Major League Baseball rules, regulations for being an affiliated club of a big league team.
Okay.
So we will meet all of those. So whatever happens down the road, say just an example, MLB expands by 2 teams. Well, then you're going to need a handful of affiliates for those 2 teams. So who would be at the top of the list? I'd like to think we'd be the prettiest girl to dance.
Yeah. Well, 2030, the Pirates will be out of town. I mean, you could probably pick them up.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started.
They cannot catch a break with everything
at all. It is. Have you ever seen a month and a half
like this?
For like between the on-field disasters and then the off-field missteps and then genuine disaster.
Yeah.
My gosh, it just is. It is just bonkers.
Rooting for him.
One more time, Scott, on the CVC stuff. Where do people go? And again, you're looking still for sponsors, volunteers, and golfers.
Always, always, always. CVCPennState.org. May 29th and 30th are the golf festivities this year. StateCollegeSpikes.com. If you want to get some Spikes tickets and come see us, opening night June 6th, opening weekend the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And real quick, Goon mentioned the reception the night before. If you're not able to golf, you're not interested in golfing, is there an opportunity to go just to purchase tickets just to the reception?
Yeah, they're not cheap, but
it's
going
to a very good cause.
And then there is an auction.
Yep, there's an auction.
Will that be a live one or silent?
Both, maybe.
We can get online.
Yes, it'll be online. Okay. Absolutely. You got some stuff?
No.
Oh,
I'm probably gonna. Where's it at? What's the address?
CVCPennState.org.
Okay, that'll be online.
One stop shop.
Sign up. When does it go up? 24 hours, 40 hours before?
Yeah, something like that. Lee and Terry do a great job running our auction every year.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do an awesome job.
They sit there, little squared circle, their little circle. They walk around like, hey. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Yep.
And then they sell Matt Millen picture from I gave last year.
That was a beautiful picture.
It's a fun one.
Beautiful.
Anything that we didn't ask you about that we should have asked you about
well,
either?
You mentioned Godowski, Bobble. I'm super excited about it. I'm also really excited about our other 2. We got Paul Poslesny. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He was
just
inducted
a
in the
huge
college.
neck.
Oh my God. He's
just a neck.
Greek statue. And then Coach Katie, the volleyball coach, just won the national championship. She's an inspiration. That'll be Coaches versus Cancer Day.
They just got a big get in the transfer portal too. All-American.
Two-time All-American.
Yeah, not a bad guy.
Yeah,
pick
not
them
so
up.
bad.
Yeah, no big deal.
Outside chance that they could be decent again next season.
I think so.
You want to hear a funny
that's
story about
great.
Coach Cawley and myself?
No, nobody does. Oh, okay.
So her husband is Mike Cawley, played at JMU. I played a Big 33 game with him in 1991. We both got drafted in the 6th round by the Indianapolis Colts, and he was at my house in State College.
Is that right?
The night of the draft.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just a small world, man. I'm like looking at
That's
him
unreal.
like, hey,
I
Mike.
did not know that.
And somebody's like, hey, man, he's like, well, I just got drafted. And he's like, by the Colts. And they're like, no, he just got drafted by the Colts. And he's like, no, I just did too.
Spider-Man.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Huh, that's pretty wild.
And that's the only 3. You didn't get the other
Three.
Okay. And they're awesome. Do you have a date for the Godowski or anything?
Yeah, Godowski's the regular season finale, August 28th. Coach Katie is Sunday, August 10th. And Paul Poslesny is Friday, July 25th.
Thank God. We'll be out of town.
Ugh.
Bummer.
Wifey has a little.
Stinks to be you.
No, the wifey loves her Paul Poslesny, man. As does the rest of State College
I was going to say, it's a
Alumni
pretty big fan
Association.
club here on the local front.
I'd say so.
Always good to see you. Thank you for all the work you do with CVC too. It's greatly appreciated. We'll take a break here. Be back to wrap things up. Oh, not looking good for my 9-year-old's baseball game tonight. They couldn't schedule the game yesterday.
We're going to call it right now.
We're coming back in just mere minutes here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Oh, man, I wish I could take credit for this one, but I don't even know who it was. This is from a buddy of mine that on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh today. Quote of the day. We're talking about how putrid the Pirates offense is, and it doesn't really matter who your manager or to some degree your GM. I mean, I guess, GM could help in regard to the players you have, but the quote attributed to somebody on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. If Mario Mendoza was on the Pirates roster, he would be in the heart of the lineup.
Oh, Lord.
And I would just tweak it a bit to make the joke all the better. Mendoza would be the cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
If he was on this.
You have
Pirates
one guy
team.
over 250, right?
It is unbelievable how bad that offense is. And you combine that with a not good bullpen.
What's this expected?
And then you turn around and you look at the starting pitching, though. Like, this is a starting pitching rotation that is worthy of contending for a World Series, certainly contending for the playoffs at the very least. But I mean, that starting pitching rotation, if you put it with any solid, not spectacular, not the Dodgers lineup, not Aaron Judge and the Yankees, you just a solid.
You can
Major
say the
League
Phillies,
Baseball
Jeff.
lineup.
You can say the Phillies.
You put that starting rotation into a solid Major League Baseball lineup, you have a contending team. But they don't have anything close to a solid Major League Baseball lineup. And again, the problems are compounded by the bullpen.
I mean,
I just tell you,
Skeens is a great pitcher. I love watching him pitch. He gives up 3 runs in the first 4 innings. You ain't winning that game.
As frustrated as I am with the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think I may be more frustrated with Mother Nature here this spring.
She's
my
fickle.
poor kiddo and the high school baseball, softball, lacrosse teams that are trying to get games in. This has been just a brutal spring. Our kiddo, we just keep watching the rainfall here. It's like, it's not going to be a baseball game tonight.
Track's done.
Again,
well,
his after-school track was
baseball's going to be done here very soon.
already canceled. He had a baseball game scheduled. I haven't received
no fields drain well in State College.
Official word. Well, the one he's playing at is especially, yes, that is true. But the one he's scheduled to play at tonight, it is especially not good. Although now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. There's not. I don't think we've had it officially called just yet, but I'm looking at the rain that is falling, and I know the field, and I know the conditions we were already in. We had one nice day yesterday, but that
didn't dry everything out.
No, that was following a week of stuff, and not looking good today. Now I think the weekend is supposed to. I think tomorrow is looking pretty rough on the precipitation front, but I
we got
think that the
graduation
weekend's
this
supposed
weekend.
to be a little better.
So
Penn State
did my nice little deed yesterday, by the way. So my wife's good friend, She works with the Lion ambassadors, and they had a little gathering amongst them all and had an auction to raise money for Thon. And our man, Brad the Spider Caldwell, steps up.
Oh, yeah.
And says, listen, I said, Brad, can you donate me an hour of your time where you can give, 5-10 of these kids a tour of the stadium? So they auctioned it off amongst the Lion ambassadors, So we went and bought lunch yesterday, got some pizza, went up to the Letterman's Lounge and stuff like that. So there's 10 of them, 10 or 12. With the moderators, there's 12 people. So, and I told them, I said, you know what? How many people can get their picture inside the stadium with their cap and gown on?
Yeah.
And they all showed up with the cap and gowns on, and I was and they were pretty jazzed up for it. So I wanted to say thank you to Spider as usual for being the man. Raised some money for Thon, obviously, but made some kids days. And I'm just looking at the weather yesterday. I was like, it was a really, really nice day yesterday, and then now I'm like, oof. Hopefully they get a nice day for graduation. Did you walk, by the way? We probably talk about this every year.
No,
I didn't walk either.
No. Penn State men's volleyball loses the fourth set to Hawaii 25-23. So Hawaii wins the quarterfinal match 3-1. And Penn State's season comes to an end in the NCAA quarterfinals. Yeah, very, very good match, very competitive match. But the number 2 seed, Hawaii, does advance to the semifinals. Earlier today, it was a 9-1 final, Nebraska beating the Penn State softball team. Of course, Penn State men's lacrosse will be in action, NCAA tournament action on Saturday at 5 o'clock. If you're planning to go to that game, go to the Penn State website on the parking situation. The good news is parking will be free. The bad news is you got your work cut out finding spots, but they have where it's available. It'll be free. Again, good luck to the Penn State men's lacrosse team as it embarks on the NCAA championships here as well. Yes, Colgate coming in the first round again at Panzer Stadium, 5 o'clock will be the start time on Saturday for that particular game. We're getting very near postseason play for the high school baseball and softball and lacrosse teams. So we'll keep you posted on that. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the final week of regular season action, at least for baseball and softball. I think maybe for lacrosse too. If it's not the final week, it's got to be sometime next week. But I think this is at least for local teams, and then we're into district action, and obviously the state playoffs will follow that. I am telling you, I've talking to a couple different athletic directors, the challenges they have had this spring. I mean, there's always a bit of a challenge in this area, but this has just been an unbelievably
I'm trying to think
tough spring.
The Turtle get all these games and track meets. I mean, they can't make them all up, right?
No, and that's the thing. And it's, nothing you can do, obviously, but it's just tough because you want the opportunities. You want kids to be able to be outside and enjoying whatever activities, but also you want them just learning. And, the best way you learn is by experience and going through the games. And it's just frustrating when you don't get those opportunities. And but again, that's a lot of blessings living in this area. We talk about it all the time on our morning show. Yeah. It's like, man, when you see some of the weather that other areas of the country go through and weather-related activities, and it's like, once in a blue moon, we have the power go out for a couple of days. Like, we're in pretty good shape. Not houses blowing away, not, a bunch of issues that can occur. Say, okay, yep, every now and then we get a bad wind gust or a thunderstorm. Once in a blue moon, a blizzard. Pretty lucky. So
I love the weather we have. I mean, I'm also
I'm just not a big
wacko
fan
with
of
it.
the rain we've had this spring. That's
The never-ending rain. I'd rather have snow every day, but that's just me.
You are
That's
awful.
just me. That's
you
just
are
me.
awful.
Well, you had to go for 20 years, get up at 4 in the morning and go to work, no matter what. You had to go to work.
Yeah, those were different.
Yeah, you were probably doing the street or the school numbers, right? Do we have that here? Like, do schools have a number, or do you actually say the actual schools?
Not now. The you mean for closings?
Because I grew up. My grade school was 1111, and my high school was 333.
Yeah, no, we had for a long time, and it would change, I think, annually, but there would be a code word that the station would give the schools. So you would call in and, hey, this is the State College Area School District, whatever.
Montana.
Snow Fuzz 23 or whatever. It's like, all right, now we know it's not a prank call. Now, how you know that nobody ever gets that? Because, believe it or not, there are some kids out there.
Oh, I would have done that. I for sure would have done that.
And every now and then you would get a call. It's like, hey, State College School District's closed today. So, all right, what's the password? What?
Password?
Never mind. We're good.
Little Lion?
It's weird. There's no snow out there today. Yeah, but I had a big test. We got you, Johnny.
There you go.
So
good.
Yeah, these days,
shot,
I think all of the schools, we don't even read through. I think all of the schools just between online and they have the automatic calls,
social
and text,
media.
yeah, all of that.
They don't
stuff
have to
goes
listen.
out. Although I will say, it is aggravating when you get the text at 5:30 and then you get the phone message. It's like, all right, be quiet. I'm trying to sleep right now. Like, postpone this. But then, I complain too when they wait, in my judgment, too long to make the call on different things. And we're all probably too particular. I'm too particular anyway on some of that stuff. Anyways,
I laugh at
not looking
Penn
good
State
if you
University.
have an outdoor event this
I
evening.
never, ever remember Penn State ever closing or shutting down.
Yeah.
I don't know
That
who
has
or
changed.
what has sued
Yeah.
Penn State, because I remember this like it was yesterday. And walking from the football building up to the hub, and there was that. Well, now there's all kinds of science buildings there now.
Yeah,
but that used to be a wind tunnel.
Yep.
And I am talking.
We used to.
It
There
was
were
horrible.
mornings where we would skate, and I am not kidding you. It was a sheet of ice on
never closed
parking lot 80, and it's like you
I
got to
remember
figure
being
out
a
how
young
to
kid, or
get to class.
my freshman year. It may have been my sophomore, but I had a history class. And I remember them sitting there on TV the whole day.
Yeah.
Stay inside. Do not go outside with exposed skin for more than 3 minutes. You're going to have
Mm.
repercussions. It was like minus 35 degrees. But we still had class.
With the wind chill
like
of
you
minus
still had to walk
83.
to class. And then you had to get ready. You had to disrobe, take the scarves off your head. Winter weather, winter clothes. I just got a scolding look there.
Well, I'm telling
about
you,
disrobing.
I don't know
But,
what kind of classes you were taking.
I mean,
where
they
were
said
forced
that,
to disrobe.
They said no exposed skin, so it was like you had a scarf on, gloves
kind of
on,
a
hats
fraternity
on.
were you joining?
Jeez, Louise, I'm going over to the Joab Thomas building, and you're sitting there and you got like 9 layers of clothes on. You got to take that off, and you got to go to you sit in the class, and then you got to put it all back on to go outside in minus 50-degree weather. But I don't know what happened. Now they just closed the campus for everything. Somebody must have fallen and must have had a pretty big, substantial lawsuit. Like again, they were telling us do not go outside for more than 3 minutes with exposed. But then, yes, you still have school.
Well, yeah.
So what is the point? I don't understand. It's like I don't get it. Like, what has changed? And now they're like, oh, well, the threat of snow. Now I get it. There's a lot of people who drive in and have to walk a long distance and this and that. So they finally got smart and realized that a couple of people finally got hurt and sued the university. Had to have for them to make this kind of change.
I am sure of that.
Yeah, but I mean, I talk to, like, we talk about my friends in Texas, and they're like, well, I don't know how the hell you deal with all that snow all the damn time. And I'm like, you got tornadoes, like dust storms, wind storms. I mean, they have ice storms down in West Texas.
And honestly,
I would gladly have snow.
Yeah, and we really have not had much snow in recent years. Like,
again, I moved here 20 years ago, and I'm telling you, there may have been 2 snowstorms that have been like, okay, maybe 10 or 12 inches. But I remember when I was in college, it was every year you got a 20-plus inch blizzard storm.
Yeah.
At least once a year.
A couple, yeah. Yeah.
And then now we don't, I mean, I haven't seen it in 20 years. I think I was away one time for a bowl trip, and there was a big, heavy snowstorm. But I was like, there's nothing I like more than I go outside, I put all the wine bottles and all the beer bottles and all around the yard and just chill them down and see how fast the snow's coming down. I have to run out there and grab a drink and
the way
ice cold.
It's supposed to be.
Precisely.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you got to have a couple French bulldogs, throw them out there, see if they get covered in the snow. Then you know it's a pretty deep one. I love it. What do you got going on this weekend?
Well, hopefully another baseball game for the Mad Turtles scheduled Saturday. So fingers crossed that the fields, the weather will be okay Saturday. At least it's looking like that. I just don't know with what we're supposed to be getting tomorrow.
Will it dry out?
Yeah, it's a matter of whether they can get the fields in. They're going to need some work. Now, they fortunately have some people that are very willing to do that work and get their hours ahead of time to help get the field. So we'll see. Optimistic on that front. And actually, other than that, we have, I believe, a pretty low-key, like, we can
until you deserve it.
Yeah, maybe get some things done around the house. My wife probably has some events scheduled. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so she's being pulled all kinds of directions. But I don't think we have much anyway on the agenda. So we'll see what kind of trouble we can get into over the course.
It's raining, Jeff.
Of the weekend. Yeah, it is.
Jeff, it's raining.
Yeah, it's just a torrential downpour. It's only been going on 15 to 20 minutes and probably another 15 to 20. So we should be all right.
I mean, I'm going to scratch off Friday and possibly Saturday games right now for you for the State College kids. So
yeah, Friday. The weather is not looking good tomorrow. Again, with the amount of rain that we're to be getting, I'm just even though the weather is going to be nice on Saturday, I'm just not sure there's going to be how much of a possibility there is to get those fields in good enough shape to play here.
Good luck with it, and congrats
Saturday.
to all the grads out there. Enjoy
Yes,
the weekend.
indeed.
All moms and dads, be proud.
Best of luck in your future. Do Penn State proud.
Exactly.
Out there. Get it done.
Ooh,
All right, that is going to wrap things up. We do hope you have a great weekend. And yes, congratulations to the graduates. And we will be back on Tuesday with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Stay tuned. We have Jed Donahue and the Pennsylvania Sports Network rolling your way next from 4 to 6 here. And we will be back on Tuesday. Until then, be good.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
Your Sports Radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7.